to have this type of atmosphere when you go to the home games, it's phenomenal.
Aztec Fever, the basketball team kicks off its tournament run against New Mexico. We've got a live report from a local sports bar coming up.
And deadly drift, the mistake made by a young driver in Hamul that cost him his life. As fellow students at Steel Canyon High School, more on this loss.
And golden parachutes. The proposed merger between Comcast and Time Warner could mean a healthy payout for top execs, but the companies say the deal is to benefit customers. We'll have your comments. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jim Pat.
And I'm Netta Irampur. It's a huge night for the Aztecs as they take the court for their first game in the NCAA tournament.
And that game's still underway. It turned into a nail-biter tonight for local fans as San Diego gave up a big lead. And it's still going on, as we said. Tony Toll is going to be joining us live as we have team coverage tonight downtown. Our Courtney Dwyer is going to talk about the impacts the team has on this San Diego State University, well beyond just cheering for the team.
And we're going to go to San Diego 6's Tony Toll right now, who's live at the Tilted Kilt in the gas lamp. Tony, what's going on out there?
Hey guys, very excited. Look, we're up by 8 points right now. We have a little under 2 minutes left. This is, as Jim said, a nail biter here at the Tilted Kilt. We got a lot of folks excited about the game. We even got an alumni section right here. Guys, let me hear a chant. It's been like this the entire time we've been here. Now, I got off to a little bit of a late start because of the game previously, but guys, I got to tell you, we're in this game. We're still up by 8. We can pull this off. We're all hoping that we make it to Anaheim. But again, take a look. We got a lot of folks here, Tilted Kilt, excited about the Aztecs, potential win over the Aggies. And right now, we're at the Tilted Kilt downtown. Jim and Netta will send it back into you.
Yeah, the students are very lucky to have this team. When I was at San Diego State, not a lot of winning basketball, not a lot of winning football. Had a good soccer program, good baseball team, but no, to have this type of atmosphere when you go to the home games, it's phenomenal. You definitely want to keep that up. Coach Fisher's done a great job, his staff's done a great job, and the students should be very, very appreciative of what the school has done to get this team put together.
So one of the things some of the older SDSU alums have been telling the younger alums is that they should be excited about the team they have this year, because back in the day, as you just heard, they didn't have such a great team. So once again, a lot of folks excited about the Aztecs doing a great job tonight. Again, we're just waiting to see if they pull off this win and we make it up to Anaheim. Guys, we'll send it back into you.
Keeping our fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Tony. And coming up in the next half hour, Courtney Dwyer has more on the Aztecs' impact on the community.
And today, Mayor Kevin Faulconer introduced his new mayoral staff.
Faulconer was sworn in on March 3rd following February's runoff election victory over Councilman David Alvarez. He has more than 2.5 years to finish out the term of Bob Filner, who resigned due to a sexual harassment scandal back in August. Faulconer says the 26-member staff reflects the diversity he promised during his campaign to be the next mayor of San Diego.
The individuals gathered behind me will be working every single day to serve you, the people of San Diego. Pothole repair, park improvements, permitting. There is no task too big or too small. They come from all walks of life and reflect a kaleidoscope of cultures and ethnic backgrounds that make our city such a wonderful place to live.
Mayor Faulconer says his staff includes members who are fluent in Spanish, Cantonese, and Vietnamese.
And a very sad story to report here tonight. A Hamul family is mourning the loss of one of their own. 16-year-old Julian Frary was on his way to school this morning when he crossed a yellow line and was hit head-on. San Diego 6's John Carroll reports.
The view from Sky 6 shows just how devastating this crash was. Frary was driving a Chrysler minivan southbound on Steel Canyon Road. For some reason, he crossed the yellow line and ran head-on into this Ford F-450 dually. The force of the impact so strong that the minivan was obliterated, one of its doors ripped off.
A Mercy Air was launched. It actually landed at the scene, but by the time that happened and they extricated the 16-year-old, he had succumbed to his injuries at the scene.
Frary was a student at Steel Canyon High School. He was on his way to school when the accident happened this morning. 20-year-old Devin Pate is an intern at San Diego 6. She graduated from Steel Canyon High School in 2011. She was on campus today and witnessed a heart-wrenching scene.
really emotional. I saw kids crying and teachers crying.
Sadly, this kind of tragedy is nothing new to Steele Canyon students, faculty, and staff. Peyton remembers it happening when she was a student there.
Nearly every year, someone either caused or got in an accident on this 94 road, Steele Canyon Road, whatever it is. It's just a dangerous place to be.
Pate says teachers at Steele Canyon do their best to warn students about the dangers of driving.
As often as it can be told, I'm sure these teachers tell their students, and I remember teachers saying it all the time, don't pass each other, don't do this, don't do that, but students still have a tendency to want to, break the rules.
We don't yet know why Julian Frary crossed the yellow line, but the CHP says distracted driving could be the cause.
We're hoping to get a hold of the cell phone, get a hold of the records, and see if at the time he was talking or texting.
One odd twist to this story, Officer Pearlstein says Julian Frary was involved in an accident just yesterday while he was on his way to school. Pearlstein says Frary rear-ended another driver, receiving only minor injuries. This morning, though, a tragically different story. John Carroll, San Diego 6 News.
The driver of the Ford F-450 was not seriously hurt. The principal of Steele Canyon High School issued a statement that says, in part, the counseling staff at Steele Canyon is working with students and staff to help them deal with this tragedy. We have also brought in extra counselors from nearby schools to help support Julian's classmates and friends as they work through their grief.
And now crews are searching the Indian Ocean for large debris spotted by satellite images. It could be part of the missing Malaysian jetliner.
Australian officials say they have credible sightings of two large objects. One is about 79 feet long and the other about 16 feet. This debris may be the best hint yet at what happened to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. An aircraft has deployed a GPS beacon into the Indian Ocean near Perth, Australia to track ocean currents to help find a possible wreckage path. Authorities say even if the debris came from the missing plane, it is only the beginning of a much larger search.
The longer it goes, the further materials that are floating are going to disperse.
Aircraft from Australia, New Zealand, and the United States have staggered departures right now to an area about 1,500 miles southwest of Perth. But other countries are still sending ships and aircraft to other areas in case this debris turns out to be false.
And this leaves more than 200 families in agony. This news of possible plane parts caused an emotional outburst. A grief counselor said the pent-up emotions of the last 13 days just poured out from the mothers, fathers, wives, husbands, and children of the people on board that plane. They got word of that debris yesterday and still have plenty of questions. The grief counselor said emotions got so unbearable, ambulances had to take some family members to the hospital.
I can't sleep each night because all I think about is my son. Up until now, what else can we do? This is about his flight. There is nothing you can do to help. We can only wait for further updates.
We all are. Experts are still telling these families and the rest of the world not to expect any quick answers in solving this mystery of that missing flight.
Firefighters in Pittsburgh, California have contained a large brush fire that burned through 40 acres of vegetation today. 3-alarm blaze started this afternoon and was very close to a power plant. Officials say the fire was threatening power lines near the plant, but said no structures were in danger. Fire was contained about 7 p.m. No injuries reported.
New developments now in the case of the SDG&E employee who fatally struck a woman and injured 2 little girls. This happened earlier this year. A police report shows that an illegal GPS device distracted that driver. The report says Gerald Lewis was looking at a GPS device back on January 22nd when he was pulling out of an alley on Cottonwood Street. 39-year-old Anna Rodriguez was walking on an unmarked crosswalk with her 5-year-old daughter and her daughter's friend. They were all hit by Louis' SDG&E truck. Police initially believed Louis had been distracted by a cell phone, but this new report says he had a 5.5-inch wide GPS device right in the middle of the windshield, which is illegal in California. No charges have been filed so far.
Motorcyclist died today shortly after crashing into a light pole in Chula Vista. Police believe 27-year-old Charles Sanfilippo was speeding when he drove off the roadway. He was going west on E Street when he swerved and hit that pole. The victim died while en route to UC Medical Center. No other injuries reported. Police are investigating if alcohol was involved.
And that is the very reason the CHP held a program at Scripps Ranch High School this morning to warn students about DUIs and its consequences. It's called Every 15 Minutes. This program is a 2-day event focusing mainly on high school juniors and seniors. It challenges them to think about the responsibility of making mature decisions and the impact those decisions have on others. Mason Kellett, a student at Scripps Ranch, says he's been helping work on this program for about a year.
Not only safe driving, drinking and driving and all of that, but just to make good decisions. I have a lot of friends who I knew this program would help, and that's why I took a role in it.
With funding available from the California Office of Traffic Safety, the CHP provides many grants to agencies and organizations to implement that program.
Rain moving into California right now. Meteorologist Sabrina Fine with more on that. Hi, Sabrina.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to get in on some of this action. Hopefully, we'll cross our fingers. Right now, you can see the showers moving throughout Central, trying to get into Southern California near Santa Barbara. We could see it as well. About a 10% chance at 7 a.m. Cloudy skies, 60 degrees by noon, 62. Finally getting a few more peaks of sunshine for you at around 5 o'clock, looking at 61 degrees. Coming up, we'll tell you how many days we are forecasted to see some of this wet weather, plus how much temperatures are going to fall as a result of that system, bringing some of the precipitation. Guys?
All right, sounds good.
And just want to mention the score of the game real quick. 58-53, Aztecs in the lead. 38 seconds left.
And hopefully they hang on. All right, tearful goodbyes, the dockside, hugs and kisses as hundreds of sailors head out from San Diego on deployment.
And Happy New Year. How millions of Persian families are celebrating this first day of spring.
San Diego 6 News at 10.
Tonight, 300 local sailors are headed to the Western Pacific. The USS Wayne E. Meyer left for deployment this morning.
San Diego 6's Amanda Shotsky was there for this tearful goodbye. She has more on this cruise mission.
The familiar sounds of a proper send-off at Naval Base San Diego. But for the families of the nearly 300 sailors on board the USS Wayne E. Meyer, saying goodbye is something they'll never get used to.
It's like 7 months of just holding my breath until she returns.
It's just hard.
From the first-timers,
I'm already counting on when he comes back,
to those like BM2 Candace Wortham, who's been deployed 4 times before.
Yeah, I'm feeling nervous and I'm going to miss my family.
This time around, she'll be out to sea when her niece comes into the world.
It's like the first baby of the family and she's leaving.
Although it's a sad day leaving our families, it's a professionally exciting day because we're doing what the nation asks of us.
As the families return home and prepare to spend an extended time without their loved ones, the crew aboard the ship will be heading to the Western Pacific, where they say they're prepared to deal with any mission that comes their way.
Whatever mission they give us, we're ready to do. We've been training for this opportunity for about a year and a half.
The guided missile destroyer will conduct security operations and create a maritime presence for partnering nations. An open-ended mission that could include aiding in the search and recovery for a Malaysian Flight 370.
If they task us to do that when we get over there, we'll do it.
A crew prepared to take on the unexpected.
She's doing well. She's doing what she wants to do. Her dreams are coming true, so we couldn't be proud of parents.
Amanda Shotsky, San Diego 6 News.
And we wish those sailors well. And also want to give you an update of the game. San Diego State right now against New Mexico State. The score 60-60. Sounds like we're going into overtime, so we'll keep you posted. And now SeaWorld San Diego turns 50 tomorrow. It'll be celebrating with the opening of Explorers Reef. The park will unveil the new entrance, which features pools filled with sharks, rays, and fish that visitors can reach in and touch. The celebration comes amid controversy over keeping orcas in captivity. San Diego City Council proclaimed March SeaWorld San Diego month back on Tuesday, and that prompted a handful of animal activists to protest outside City Hall. Despite the controversy, Mayor Kevin Faulkner says the park has employed 93,000 San Diegans over the years and generated large sums of tax revenue for the city.
The United Nations declared today, March 20th, International Day of Happiness. From giving a hug, volunteering, or buying co-workers coffee, one simple good deed can make a big impact. The Live Happy organization hosted a wall of happiness downtown at the Horton Plaza today, where people shared ideas to brighten their days. This wall is one of 30 throughout the U.S., the UK, and Canada. Overwhelming research finds positive emotions benefit health, relationships, and work satisfaction.
If you write down 3 acts of happiness in a day, 3 things that make you happy, and you make a habit of that, and you teach other people to do that, what that's going to do is create just a happier lifestyle for everybody in the country and in the world in the long term. And what we're trying to do is start here with this wall, give people a place to come down and write what they're grateful for, write what makes them happy, and give them a chance to start that chain reaction.
The Aztecs winning will make a lot of people happy. Somebody write that down there. You can also head to their virtual wall online at actsofhappiness.org. For each happiness post this week, $1 will be donated to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.
So the International Day of Happiness also coincides with a long-standing tradition stemming from the Middle East, the Persian New Year.
It comes with the coming of spring, and there's the Persian New Year, and as a part of the Persian New Year, we do the half-scene display here.
So Persians around San Diego counted down the new year during the spring equinox at 9:57 this morning. So most families gather around a highly decorated table like this one here at Sufi Mediterranean Cuisine on Balboa Avenue. So it's called a half scene. You ready for your lesson now? That means 7 items are placed on the table that start with the letter S. Those items include sabza or sprouts, which symbolize rebirth. You have samanu, a sweet pudding, that means affluence. And then senjet, or dried olive fruit, symbolizes love, while seer, or garlic, is for health. Seeb or apple symbolizes beauty, and sumac symbolizes the color of the sun. You with me still? Serke, or vinegar, represents patience, and then there is the feast.
White fish with sabzi palo, the herb rice. That is like the traditional fare that people have on Nowruz. That is their turkey. Sure, that's a Thanksgiving, if you will, for the Persian New Year.
There you have it. So the year just turned 1393 in Iran, so of course their calendar much different than ours here. Sufi has a performer named Roya set for a Saturday New Year celebration. They do expect a sellout, so I've got to say my family's going to be partying all week.
Yeah, that's fun. Now, I have to ask you, since it happens at 9:37, what we think of our traditional New Year's at midnight, a lot of people are half tanked by the time they get there. Does that happen with, no, not at 9:37 in the morning?
It changes every year depending on, when the equinox is. So this morning happened to be when the clock struck New Year there, and there was no drinking that early.
It's a more ceremonial, civil transition.
I was doing yoga
into the
that hour.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's a good way to, I guess, usher in the new year. A lot better than the folks out over towards Chicago. Now today, obviously the first day of spring, and they were dealing with snowflakes. Can you imagine running in this frigid weather? The Ducks, they got a little confused, right? They were supposed to fly south for the winter, and then they already flew further to the north, not knowing that they were still dealing with winter-like conditions out over toward the Midwest. For us, though, we obviously are going to be dealing with much pleasant temperatures, although we are going to get a little bit cooler. El Cajon and rather Lemon Grove today, 71 degrees, which is what I had forecasted for inland locations. Currently 63 degrees out over towards San Diego, winds 3 miles per hour. Today they did go up to about 13 sustained. We could see that similar pattern for us at least for the next 5 days, but we are really watching our next chance of rain, bringing with it chillier air. It's in association with this low pressure system. A lot of moisture wrapping around it, already bringing a chance of showers out over toward central and southern California. For us, about a 10% chance of rain into the morning hours tomorrow. We'll call it drizzle, not really rainfall, and staying with us as well as on into Saturday until this gets out of the area. So feeling like winter, temperatures are going to fall about 6 degrees for the coast inland locations because of some cloud coverage and just that simple onshore flow. Here's the proof hour by hour, starting you off at about 8 a.m. The mid to upper 50s along the coastline. Inland areas dealing with the same scenario pretty much. By the afternoon hours, more clouds than sunshine, only getting into the lower 60s for the coastline compared to today, into the upper 60s and about the mid 60s for inland areas. Compare this though into your evening commute, not a big change here, but it is Saturday. We're going to continue to watch our temperatures feeling a lot like winter, and with that, the chance of drizzle stays with us. 7-day forecast, 65 degrees tomorrow, 64 on Saturday. We'll see a slight warm up for us on into Monday. Inland 70 degrees, 69 Saturday, warming into the mid 70s by Monday and Tuesday. The mountains 56 degrees. degrees for you on Friday. Breezy conditions. The desert's 80 degrees. You are going to briefly fall into the 70s on Saturday before rebounding into the 80s. That's a look at your 7-day forecast, guys. Back to you.
All right, Sabrina, thank you very much. And this game, too exciting.
So exciting. So 63 to 65 right now. SDSU's winning by 2 points, and we have about 2 minutes left in the game.
All righty, and coming up, golden parachutes. They're for top cable execs, but ultimately they say it's to save you money. We'll have your comments. If you subscribe to cable television, you might have some thoughts on this.
A list of executives with Time Warner are in line to get some very healthy severance packages if a merger with Comcast goes through. So here's the numbers. Rounded to the nearest million, departing Time Warner Cable Chief Executive Rob Marcus, who's had his position for less than 2 months, is in line to receive a package worth $80 million. You can see the other top 3 execs are in line for $27, $16, and $12 million respectively.
It all adds up to $135 million as part of Comcast's $45 billion acquisition. Comcast and Time Warner say that the merger will benefit consumers because the larger company will have more leverage in negotiations with content providers.
Now, you as a consumer, what do you think? Are Time Warner and Comcast looking out for your bottom line? That discussion underway now on our San Diego 6 Facebook page. Norma says, we are the customers and have to deal with it. I think they should pay us. They charge us too much for the service.
That would be nice. Lonnie says golden parachutes for the men and women on the top. Go figure. Christina says, what about the customers? And as always, we appreciate your comments, and you can chime in on our San Diego 6 Facebook page.
Next, this new discovery. Scientists find a strange new species of dinosaur, and you won't believe what they're calling it.
Scientists have just discovered this strange new species of dinosaur, and you will not believe what it is called. They are calling it the chicken from hell.
It's 11 feet long, 500 pounds, with a beak, no teeth, and yes, it has feathers. Scientists say it ate small animals, plants, and maybe even eggs. You can see a replica of its skeleton inside Pittsburgh's Carnegie Museum. Scary, no chicken.
Picture that chicken saying, capturing you in an alley and saying, let's talk about those McNuggets that you love so much. Straighten that up. Hey, so the game, in overtime, what is it again?
61.
And is it still on? It's basketball. There were 10 seconds left, 68-70 in favor of the Aztecs, correct?
Man, yes.
It's like it's a 1930s ticker we're listening to here. We can't see the game.
All right, taking a look at your forecast for you. We have had 30 consecutive days of being seasonal or warmer than normal. That ends tomorrow. Plus, it brings a chance of rain. We'll take a look at your hour-by-hour rain forecast in the next half hour.
Also straight ahead, campus climate. What UC San Diego students are saying about the campus atmosphere, how they feel.
San Diego 6 News at 10.
Welcome back. A new study is taking a look at the comfort level of students at UC schools.
While it finds most are happy at their respective campuses, about 25% are not, and UC San Diego fared worse than any of the other 9 campuses in the system. Nancy Aziz joins us now live in the newsroom with more on what this study found. Nancy?
Well, the 300-page report has been a year in the making. UC officials point to the good things in it, that for most students, the college experience is a welcoming one. But they do say they're concerned that it's not that way for everyone.
Everyone treats everyone the same. Everyone's pretty friendly. I don't think we focus a lot on racial things.
Students at UCSD react to the Campus Climate Survey, a report that looked at the experience of students, faculty, and staff across the 10-campus UC system. The report found about 1 in 4 said they felt intimidated, excluded, or offended by situations on campus, and 9% said it interfered with their studies or work.
Even if it was 1 out of 100, it's too many. Nobody should feel uncomfortable where they work, where they go to school, where they play, where they live.
The study came in response to several racial and religious incidents on UC campuses, including the 2010 UCSD party dubbed the Compton Cookout, where students were urged to dress and act ghetto. Among other findings, the report noted UC Merced had the highest percentage of students, 81%, who said they felt comfortable on campus. At UCLA, 71% felt comfortable. UC San Diego fared the worst, with 68% feeling comfortable.
I'm actually really surprised that that came out. I wouldn't think that at all.
More than half the students said they felt their campus was respectful of different races. This student, who didn't want to be identified, said while he generally felt comfortable, he had been treated differently because of his race.
I do get discrimination.
The UC system says it's taken steps to make its campuses more inclusive so everyone feels comfortable. The report shows there's more work to be done.
And UCSD officials say they strive for diversity and inclusion, and they will be looking closely at this study to decide what else needs to be done. In the newsroom, I'm Nancy Aziz. Back to you.
All right, Nancy, thank you.
And now a man who helped rob and kill a Border Patrol agent in 2009 was sentenced to 40 years in prison today. 25-year-old Emilio Arizanas is the fourth man sentenced for the murder of Agent Robert Sosas. The group of men attempted to steal night vision goggles from Rosas while he was in the Campo Desert. Rosas resisted and they shot him 9 times. The 3 other men were previously sentenced to 40, 55, and 56 years in prison. A 5th man remains at large, but police believe he may be dead. Border Patrol agents seized $1.8 million worth of crystal meth in San Clemente. It happened about 1:30 yesterday on Interstate 5, just north of the San Clemente checkpoint. A K-9 unit helped find more than 100 bags of methamphetamine. That's about 180 pounds of drugs, all stashed inside a 2002 Mazda Tribute. Authorities arrested a 52-year-old Mexican driver. The drugs were turned over to the Drug Enforcement Administration. And Border Patrol agents say 3 men were arrested for trying to cross the border hiding in a wooden box. El Centro Border Patrol agents found these 3 men, ages 17, 19, and 21, at the Highway 86 checkpoint in Salton City. A K-9 unit alerted agents about something suspicious in the back of an RV. That's how they discovered the men in that wooden box in the storage compartment. The driver and passenger, both U.S. citizens, were arrested on suspicion of alien smuggling. The RV and 3 Mexican nationals are now in custody.
Law enforcement across the state mourning the loss of a sheriff's deputy in Mendocino County in Northern California. 48-year-old Ricky Del Fiorentino was fatally shot yesterday when he came upon the vehicle of a wanted man, 32-year-old Ricardo Antonio Cheney of Eugene, Oregon.
The suspect basically riddled his patrol car with high-powered rifle fire.
At the time, Cheney was wanted for a crime spree that included armed robbery and a kidnap carjacking, where he forced a couple into the trunk of a stolen vehicle. But Antonio Cheney did not live long after shooting the deputy. Another officer heard the gunfire, followed the sound, and arrived to find Cheney scavenging through the deputy's car. After exchanging gunfire, the officer says he found Cheney dead in the bushes. Meanwhile, investigators say Cheney may also be responsible for the murder of an educator in Oregon.
And 10 sheriff's deputies were honored for their hard work in recovering hundreds of stolen vehicles all across the county. The San Diego Auto Theft Advisory Committee passed out awards during a ceremony today. And these men were recognized for the arrest of 51 people last year and recovering over 160 stolen vehicles valued at nearly $1.1 million. Deputies say secure your vehicle at all times, even if you think your neighborhood's safe.
They forget their purse in there that has the keys in there, or sometimes cars come with like an extra valet key, and people leave that in the car. And you know, the crooks, they're smart enough to figure out, look around, and if they find that, then it's like, you know, it's a free thing.
Deputies say cars are more likely to be recovered if they contain the anti-theft tracking device LoJack.
All right, we have been hoping to tell you this for so long. You know how it is in basketball. There's 3 seconds left, and it takes a week to get it done. Huge night for the Aztecs. They win the game tonight, their first game in the NCAA tournament, 69-73. The Aztecs have 73, and the success of the team, of course, the basketball team paying off for the entire university.
Yeah, a lot of celebrating going on here tonight. And tonight's Full Court Press Aztec Basketball Report with our Courtney Dwyer here. It's brought to you by Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel.
Oh, Jim and Netta, I just want to tell you something. I don't think I have any fingernails left. I was biting them while I was in the control room watching that. Man, oh man, if you are an Aztec fan, that was a little too close for comfort, but that's okay. A win is a win, right, everyone? Hey, and everybody likes a winner. I was on SDSU's campus today, and I tell you what, people everywhere, they are wearing their red and black. You walk around and you can feel the pride. Tonight's victory is not just being felt by the team, but by our entire community.
This is Napawe swatted by Pauline.
A spotlight in the big show.
The exposure when you have a top-level college basketball team is phenomenal.
It's no secret, Steve Fisher has done something special for SDSU.
I think you see more people wearing their gear, wearing their black and red and wearing their letters. You know, it didn't used to be that way.
Greg Block works for San Diego State and says when your athletic teams do well, the entire university benefits.
People around the country who really never knew anything about us now know who we are, and hopefully they're looking at us, you know, if they're a prospective high school student, now hopefully they're coming to our website to say, well, I wonder if they have the program that I'm interested in.
Block says donors usually get introduced to giving to universities because of successful sports teams.
And then we can open their eyes to other needs on campus, like scholarships and the astronomy department. And so it's really been a driver of the campaign as well.
It's estimated that 1 in every 7 San Diegans is an SDSU alum. So this basketball team is not only bringing this campus together, but our entire community.
You know, I've been a fan ever since I was out at San Diego State back in the mid-'80s.
Mayor Kevin Faulkner conducting city business and wearing his red and black. This proud alum says a successful collegiate basketball program means positive exposure for our entire city.
It's great. It helps to showcase, you know, San Diego State and certainly the city of San Diego, how proud we are of the team. It's only positive.
Regardless of how far the team goes in the tournament, fans are taking it all in and enjoying the ride.
If you've been to a game in Viejas Arena, it's the most exciting sporting event in town. And our students have made it that way, and the crowds are phenomenal, and it's just people want to be a part of it. You know, there's nothing quite like sports to bring a community together.
Jim and Netta, isn't that the truth? Sports brings out the best in all of us, especially when our team wins, right? Next up for the Aztecs, and it's not a nail biter, right? Next up for the Aztecs, they take on North Dakota State. That game will be on Saturday. Live in studio tonight, Courtney Dwyer, San Diego 6 News.
It's been a crack-up night, has it
not?
Yeah,
I mean, we're getting scores in our ears all night long.
Hats off to our producer who's been, I mean, like a sportscaster from the 20s. It's 10 seconds left there, so this is the score. It's hilarious. All right. Congratulations to the Aztecs. Good stuff. Turning on to a more serious story here. A 2-month investigation has revealed a Florida teenager may be behind a threat made against an Escondido high school earlier this year.
A threat was posted on a chat room site on January 16th saying there would be a barrage of bullets and a suicide at Escondido Charter High School. Classes were canceled the next day at that high school and 3 other Escondido charter schools. Police traced the message to a computer belonging to a girl who lives in Escondido but does not attend that school. They quickly realized her online identity had been stolen by a 17-year-old boy in Miami.
I think it's wonderful that they followed through, you know, instead of just letting it drop. And I think it's amazing that it's linked into Florida. I just can't believe that it goes that far.
Teen has not been arrested, but the investigation is continuing. The incident could be considered cyberbullying, which is a federal crime.
In light of recent data breaches, local leaders today announced a program initiative that'll increase the region's leadership in cyber security, creating more jobs, too. The Economic Development Corporation is teaming up with private firms, including antivirus software maker ESET and information technology contractor Centec Global, all to create a cybersecurity hub. Today they released a report that shows San Diego generates about $1.5 billion. Mayor Kevin Faulkner says the move only benefits San Diego.
This is a game changer in terms of our local economy and the jobs that it's creating, growing by 13% a year here in San Diego. Our job is to come together to make this industry continue to grow.
More than 100 cyber companies, along with the U.S. Navy, employ over 6,000 workers locally and could grow significantly in the near future.
I like the first take. I'd like a cybersecurity hug. Sounds good.
Trying to roll past it.
Coming up, overfeeding, why doctors are putting an 18-month-old baby on a diet.
And fashion hazards. Can your clothes be harmful to your health? Welcome back. A baby who weighs more than 44 pounds is now getting medical treatment.
Yeah, this 8-month-old Colombian infant is the same size as a child age 5 or 6 years old. Santiago Mendoza will be treated by the Gorditos de Corazon Foundation, also known as Chubby Hearts. The director says Santiago's problem was caused by giving him too much food and constant milk bottles. He has a metabolic syndrome causing progressive weight gain, and folds of fat have been preventing him from crawling. Doctors will put Santiago on a strict vegetable and fruit juice diet to lower his weight 17 pounds.
Many women who want to stay up to date with fashion trends are hurting their health. Skinny jeans, ladies, could cause stomach-related problems such as bloating, indigestion, or heartburn. And if your jeans are too skinny, you can even pinch and irritate your nerves, which would cause burning, numbness, and sensitivity changes in the thighs. High heels could also be a hazard.
If they start to get over 2 inches, you start to run into all kinds of foot problems, ranging from hammer toes to nerve damage and even problems in the leg.
Okay, and what about your underwear? Thongs are okay, experts say, as long as they don't feel uncomfortable. But what your underwear is made of is more important than the cut. It's best to go for delicate materials like silk or breathable cotton, because they won't trap humidity. Now we know.
It's good to know. Take a look at what a flea market shopper found. That could make him a multi-millionaire. It's a rare Fabergé egg made for Russian royalty. It was bought for $14,000 at a Midwest antique fair by a scrap metal dealer. And now that may sound like a lot, but experts say the egg could be worth more than $33 million. Believed to be, the egg is one of 8 that went missing after the Russian Revolution. It will be on display at a London gallery in April. Its first public appearance in 112 years.
Sorry. You held it together well. All right. The flower fields at Carlsbad Ranch are celebrating the opening of their 2014 Lose Yourself in Color season. Here's a look at something so pretty. The ranch has more than 50 acres of flowers, including orchids, roses, petunias, and sweet pea blossoms, to name a few. The flower fields draw more than 120,000 visitors annually to soak in the colorful beauty, picnic, and listen to live music and learn about all these flowers. They're open to the public from 9 to 6 now until May 11th. Admission is $12 for adults and $6 for children.
It's another sign of spring. Sabrina Fine knows about that, and she's talking about cool weather, though, coming down the pipe.
I want to talk about something first, though, why you have the giggles. I saw that story earlier in the day, and I was talking to Netta, and I was thinking, like, oh, my goodness, can you imagine? We were chit-chatting about this. Can you imagine if Jim had to read that story? We didn't think you'd be able to get through it, and you couldn't even get through listening to it.
It caught me off guard, I have to admit.
It's not every day you hear those words in the newscast.
It was great information. I'm glad that we know.
Yeah.
And, you know, life will be easier because of it.
All right, taking a look forward today, we actually did see some of those clouds along the coastline. This will continue for us tomorrow and, in fact, bring us the chance of precipitation. Temperatures today, though, despite the cloud coverage, still above average. We were able to climb our way to 71 degrees, typically 66. But guess what, folks? Not only do we have the chance of rain for tomorrow, but we also are going to see slightly cooler air. Currently, good evening to you in La Mesa at 60 degrees, that same number falling throughout Oceanside and even into Del Mar. The dew point measures how much moisture is available. 50 is fairly comfortable, and that's what we have along the coastline. A few inland areas like Escondido and La Mesa. That is also going to be the key areas where we're going to try to wring out a little bit of drizzle for you tomorrow morning. It's in part due to this low pressure system. You can see what it's doing to the jet stream, forcing it to dip slightly to the south. Not an extreme dip, so not going to bring a whole lot of change, but we will notice it increase that onshore flow, trying to produce a little bit of that precipitation and drop our temperatures maybe about 1 to 6 degrees. Starting off tomorrow at 7 a.m., check this out over toward Del Mar, National City, and even into Coronado. That's where you could see some of the precipitation lingering until about 11 a.m., calling for more clouds than sunshine throughout the day. And then on Saturday at 5 a.m., another chance of drizzle for you in Chula Vista, edging out over toward National City and San Ysidro. But it's gone fairly early into the day, so you might just wake up and notice your grass looks a little dewy. Surf forecast tomorrow, actually poor conditions with your swell shifting out of the south-southwest 2 to 3 feet there. 7-day forecast, 65 degrees tomorrow, going 64 Saturday, both with a 10% rain chance. Inland 70 degrees, 69 on Saturday with drizzle. Sunday looking slightly warmer with more sunshine. The mountains, the mid-50s for the next 2 days, and the deserts at 80 degrees tomorrow. Guys, back to you.
Sabrina, thank you so much.
And coming up, Pope Francis tops the list of the world's greatest leaders. The surprising name that was not even included. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning.
Coming up tomorrow on Wake Up San Diego, 3 simple workouts to get your body beach ready now.
And go healthy, how to transition into a gluten-free diet without breaking the bank. That's tomorrow, starting at 5.
Seattle police trying to stop rumors that they are re-examining the death of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain.
Social media erupted earlier today with speculation that there was new information in the singer's death. The tweets started to fly after a Seattle news station published a story titled "Seattle Police Re-Examine Kurt Cobain's Death." It turns out an officer did recently look back at the 1994 case, but only to refresh himself on the details in anticipation of media interest for the upcoming 20th anniversary of his death on April 4th. The officer said he did discover an undeveloped roll of film in that file, but the pictures did not show anything of new interest.
Pope Francis tops Fortune magazine's list of the world's 50 greatest leaders. The magazine gave the Pope the top spot for the electrifying the Catholic Church. Also on the list, actress Angelina Jolie for her humanitarian work, former President Bill Clinton for his fight against HIV/AIDS, U2 frontman Bono, and Derek Jeter for his role model status in Major League Baseball. Noticeably absent from that list, President Barack Obama, but there has been no word on why he was not included.
Eminem and Rihanna are hitting the road together. The pair announced the first dates on their upcoming The Monster Tour. The trek kicks off at the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles on August 7th. Stadium shows in New York and Detroit follow on August 16th and 22nd. Tickets for all concerts go on sale March 28th. No word yet on additional dates for what is sure to be one of the summer's hottest shows.
No doubt. Straight ahead, Popeye's Chicken. Check out what this lady does while you're waiting in the drive-thru.
I said, would you like a red bean on mashed potato?
She is known as the Popeyes drive-thru singer. In this New Orleans Popeyes window is her stage. Cynthia Carter loves to serenade her customers while taking their orders.
I want to hear more of it. She's been working the drive-thru window for 26 years while singing that menu and taking orders. Customers get dinner and a show when they pull up to her window. She loves what she does, and her employers say she's found her calling.
Yeah, it's like going to see a show. Pick up your Popeyes.
Let's update the game again. You want to?
Sounds good.
We've been waiting all night for the score. We finally got it. 69-73. Aztecs won in overtime.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. And we were getting updates all night in our ear. And it was, I mean,
so we didn't see the exciting stuff.
We didn't see it, but it was almost better the way we were getting. It was like, it was exciting. We were hanging on every word. It was really good.
And now they're playing North Dakota State this Saturday.
More fun stuff. Yeah. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.